Rockets have expanded the number of teams that they would discuss a potential trade with beyond the Nets and the 76ers to other contenders. And we have word that the Sixers would be maybe kind of sort of willing to part with Ben Simmons in a package for James Harden. Jalen, what do you think about those two updates on James Harden's future?
I love those updates and that professional reporting. You remember when the Washington Wizards came out and said that they weren't going to move John Wall? And then you look up a couple of weeks later, they moved John Wall.
Yes,
I knew James Harden was getting moved on the basketball floor. When he returned, they won the tip, and John Wall crossed half court with the basketball. Trust me, for a guy that's led this league 3 straight times in scoring. You know, the only other guys that do that consecutive seasons were Gerd, the Iceman, MJ, Ernest, and Kevin Durant. Like, he's in that category. He's a fantastic offensive weapon, Jacoby, but he just handled his trade request improperly with the squad. You're supposed to come back, be on time, be in shape, play top basketball, and then now the other squads like Philly and or the Nets that you put in pole position, they can try to grab you. Now they've opened it up to the rest of the league. So Pat Riley on the phone now and other people that's trying to sniff around to see if they can get him. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but he'll definitely get moved.
One thing I find interesting about the 76ers being willing to part with Ben Simmons is this quote from Daryl Morey. Do you remember him? Like Tommy Shepard before him said, "We are not trading Ben Simmons. He's an important part of our future." Jalen, if they end up trading him, what does this look like for Daryl Morey?
So apples and oranges, even though they seem like they're the same. When you're Washington and you're a team that didn't make the playoffs, and we know Bradley Beal and Wall didn't ever see eye to eye the way they should to maximize their talent. And we talked about John Wall's offseason and how once, you know, he was videoed that I felt like that was going to be his exodus from Washington. This situation is vastly different. You bring in Daryl Morey, you bring in Doc Rivers for validity to your audience and to your fans. So Ben Simmons is a young prospect, Jacoby, that's been an all-NBA player. So you got to be careful when you speak into the microphone because you're earning the trust of the people and you're earning the trust of the locker room. And if you say you're not going to move Ben Simmons, you can't necessarily jump up next week and move Ben Simmons. Because a lot of his fans and a lot of people who don't like the move, they're going to, A, not necessarily trust your word because you just lied into a microphone, because it's sometimes your job to do, but B, you could just avoid the entire thing and say, we love what we're doing right now. We're trying to build on what we have. And if the best deal approaches, we'll deal with it. But when you say you're not going to move him, there are most people and people in your locker room that heard that he's not being moved. So either we need to listen to what he's saying and he's not going to be moved, or we're going to look back and feel like we were told a lie.
Well, honestly, the Simmons plus some pieces for Harden deal seems like on paper it works for both sides. We will see if it happens, but I don't see any other natural dance partner for the Rockets to move Harden aside from them.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.